Okay, so tonight we've got a bit of a special class happening, primarily because it's the night of the super red moon, and hopefully we'll be able to find out if the super red moon does enhance our spiritual abilities, because I'm going to push your abilities to the limit. We've got a little bit of a mystery that we're trying to uncover. So we're going to use all of you lovely people in the class to help us try to uncover this mystery. Now in the hallway I've got a couple of sensor lights, and I have a proximity pod, and I've invited the person who is attached to the mystery to come forward and hopefully seed your mind with some thoughts, some visions, some words, and this is why you have pen and paper with you right now. I just noticed that the K2 just went off a little bit, and we've had indications that there's special guest with us in spirit to come forward tonight. We've had indications today that he is around, and there definitely are indications that he is around tonight as well. Now he's not very used to working, I think that was the car, he's not very used to working in a spiritual way with communicating to the living. So we're going to have to sort of try and lead him through a little bit to try and get used to communicating in some way to us. Now what we're hoping for is that he may be able to seed all of your minds, or an individual mind, with some thoughts, some visions, some words that will explain some of the questions that we'll be asking tonight. We also have two cat balls. We have the K2 meter on top of the mystery box, which is covered in a cloth. And we're not going to tell you anything about this at all until near the end. And we'll let you know at the end what we've already found out. But what we want to do tonight to see if the supermoon can enhance your abilities to pick up and clear up a mystery, to be able to communicate with spirit, or to enhance your intuitions, your visions, your thoughts, whatever it happens to be. We've got the K2 going off once again.
Can I just ask if the spirit male? Yes.
This is something.
Yeah.
This is something that you can all write down on your pieces of paper as we go.
Okay.
We won't be answering any questions whatsoever until near the end. The first thing that I want you to do is, and the K2's got no reason to be going off like that. I'm going to reset that.
It's very close to it.
In fact, I might just put that just a little bit further away from the camera, just in case it's the camera that's setting it off. I doubt it, because it was far enough away.
It's just looking again.
It's still going off now. So we'd like to thank you for stepping forward. We've been inviting you all day to help us out with this experiment. And the experiment is primarily, goes hand in hand with the spiritual and the paranormal. The experiment is to try to see if the group can communicate with you in some form or another, and to see if the supermoon can enhance our abilities to communicate with spirit, and to indeed uncover the mystery of this box that is covered in the cloth. Now it's a rather large box. So the first thing I'd like you to do is to all place your hand on top of the box for a couple of minutes. And what I want you to do is just use your intuition, open your mind up, and just quietly, and keep it to yourself, because you'll be writing this on the pieces of paper, so you won't be showing anybody else. The light's just gone off in the hallway, but the cat's just walked past it, so debunking that one. Just allow your intuition and your thoughts to go, and ask for the spirit that is connected to this box to come forward, give you some words, give you some thoughts, give you some visions. Keep those words, thoughts and visions to yourself for the moment. And throughout tonight, we'll ask for the spirit that is connected to this box. If they wish, they can come close to any of these electronic devices. They can walk past the sensors, the light sensors, and they can set off any of these devices by giving it a little bit of a push or coming close to it. We'll also be using some rods tonight, and we'll also be using the necrophonics. The light in the hallway's just gone off by itself again. So we're asking for the spirit that's connected to the box. Come forward, and the K2's starting to go off lightly. Now the spirit's not used to using the equipment, and is definitely not used to communicating with the living. So we're just going to ask the spirit that's connected to the box to seed any thoughts, any words to the members of this spiritual development group tonight.
Right, it's off. But, sorry, I lost my thought with that.
No, that's okay, yeah. That was interesting because Jenny was sure she turned her phone off, and it just went, alarm just went off.
You said you turned it off.
Yeah, I did.
Yep. So perhaps the spirit was playing with Jenny's phone. Now the K2's starting to light up. Were you playing with Jenny's phone? Can you light the K2 up even more if you were?
Need to tell him what colour he has to light up.
There's a few different colours on the K2. Can you push it right up to the red? If you come really close to it, put your hand close to it. See if you can push the colours and lights up to the red.
He's trying.
Okay, so
I didn't turn it off.
alright, so we're going to go around the room first off. And we're just going to ask everybody what they felt. Did they get any words? Did they get any thoughts when you put your hand on the box?
There we go. There you go.
And there's a cat ball. It's just gone off. Perhaps you like the cat balls.
Can you do that again? Easier. Can you move your hand across the cat ball and do it again? The K2 flicked slightly. Yeah. He's trying.
K2's trying to flicker. And there's nothing here in this room that should set that off. There's nothing close to those cat balls or the K2. So what did you get, Bree?
So I felt like I was sort of swaying side to side, almost like I was on a boat,
Okay.
which is a bit random. And I also got like a sore neck and under my chin.
Yeah, there you go.
K2 is flashing up. So perhaps you're hitting on something. Perhaps the spirit is trying to indicate that you're on the money there with what you were saying. Did you get anything else?
No, that was it.
Okay, that's all right. That's good.
Before I even touched the box, I already knew it was a head trauma. I've been getting a headache for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But I've also got like, because I was hearing the sounds of shoes crunching in the dirt.
Yep.
But I also heard the sounds of a screeching car coming to a really fast stop. But I'm also getting like trees. So it could be car hitting a tree, it could be... And there was also screaming sounds and that sort of stuff. Can you draw what you see? Can you tune
Hang
it
on,
in
we're going to
for-
go into the drawing after this.
I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the drawing element shortly.
Yeah.
Because is there anything else that you feel about the
I'm actually
box, or
feeling really sick in the stomach.
feeling sick in the stomach?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I pulled away really
Yeah,
early. I was
yeah,
like,
no,
that's getting
That's
too
cool.
much. Yeah.
And that's the best thing to do if you start feeling that nausea feeling and you're not understanding it. You're understanding that it's not your feeling, that it's a feeling of the spirit or a feeling of something else that you're actually sensing. So that's good. Pulling away is good.
I got a really strong sense it was a male.
Yep.
And I felt excitement.
Okay. Yep.
I got he was a strong young male around his 30s or
Okay. Yep.
mystery. I keep getting mystery.
Mystery. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery involved in this box.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I touched the box, I got it again. But when you start talking about this spirit, I got mystery again.
There's a lot of mystery
Stuff.
involved around this spirit that we're trying to uncover.
I've got confusion, not sure why he's here.
Yep.
And it's funny, and look, it could be just wrong, but when Hannah was talking about car crash or something, I've got before cars.
Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's, to me, that makes sense from what we already know. So, and there's not a lot that we do know, and this is why we're actually doing this tonight, because we're we're asking for your help to give us some leads or some ideas that we can look into, so we can find out exactly what is involved in this person's life and more information about this box. So Sally, what'd you get?
Sorry.
That's okay.
So yeah, male. I got the name Bill came through. I've got headache. Because the headache. I could feel the headache. I got like a battle that was a losing battle. Like there was no way he could win it, whatever he was going into, and he kind of knew it. I saw like overalls or suspenders or some that sort of like old fashioned. I wrote too shy to be a ladies' man, very respectful. Something about the eyes, like squinting, whether he it's like blindness or injury or pain or to do with the headaches, but I focused in on the eyes, like squinting. And then I picked up, I became angry. I wasn't always an angry person, as if something happened that changed his personality near the end part of his life.
Okay.
And then I sort of picked up farm or mining, explosion, so yeah,
Okay.
bits and pieces. I actually was getting farmer and farming and that sort of thing as well.
Okay.
Now that you say that, yeah.
I know I wasn't
Look at
supposed to
the
be doing anything,
K2's going off again.
but I got like a hill, lots of vegetation, and like a convoy of people, then an explosion, and then bars, like a cage, like a, you know, the old cages they used to keep monkeys and stuff in, the old wooden cages, stuff like that.
Also like
Okay.
a stock cage, like
Not
for
even-
animals.
Okay, so
Not even a
Not
stock
even a
cage,
stock
you know,
cage.
like the old, like almost made out of bamboo.
Yeah.
The big bamboo tied together with ropes and stuff. And
Okay, and the K2 is just lighting up a little bit more. So perhaps he's getting used to using the K2
he's trying.
and trying to push it up.
He's
So
trying.
perhaps he's trying to indicate that he's listening to us and trying to indicate that some of what's being said is pretty right on the money.
He's trying. He's getting the hang of it.
Okay, once again I want you to place your hands on the box.
You hold the hematite with you. Put it in the hand you put on the box so you've got a barrier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I want you to focus on is focus your intuition on where the box has been in its lifetime.
Put the hematite flat on the
Yeah.
box and put your palm on it. That way you've got a barrier.
So the focus is on where the box has been in its lifetime. Okay, you don't have to write this one down if you don't want to. What we'll do is straight away talk about what you feel. So, we'll go in reverse this time, we'll go Sally.
Bree, was it you who said something about a boat earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mind went straight to that sort of rocking.
Yeah, that's what I got.
And it felt like this has been a possession over generations, so it's always changed hands, and maybe it was stored for a bit and then it moved again, so it's always been on the move.
Tag light went off, but it was a cat that walked past. Okay. Now, any idea where? What areas? What's your first thoughts?
My first thought was Brazil.
Okay. Got any other thoughts there?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, that's all right. Jenny,
I got something completely different.
oh no, go for it.
I got circus straight away.
Circus.
Mm.
Okay.
And I saw the cages like on wheels. Like in a
Okay.
circus,
Yeah.
travelling cages. Yeah.
All right. It could be symbolic of something.
Don't know. But yeah, the first word was just circus.
That's
and
all
then I
right.
instantly
Hang on
saw
to that
cages.
thought. Hang on to that thought. It could be symbolic of something. Cool. Did you get anything else with it?
No.
No? Okay. Hannah?
I saw from its lifetime here all the way back to the trees. So I've got it bumping around in the back of a car or a ute, but also it brought over to Australia. But that was quite a long time ago. So it's done its whole rounds of being around Australia for quite a while. And then it's been brought to Victoria and all of that sort of thing. But it was brought over on a boat from probably England, so it was very early settler sort of not original boats, but the next few lots that came along, so it was more like with either with families or with people who were entertainers. And then I got the impression of the lumber mill, and I actually earlier I always also was getting tree spirit.
Okay.
So I was getting all the way back to the tree
Okay.
itself. But I'm also, when you talk about circus, I'm also getting apes. Which was a bit
Okay.
random. But I also kind of was like,
Trust what you get.
when we were talking about like the bamboo thing, I was like getting like apes. Because it's human, but it's also not, it's close to human, but it's not quite human.
Alright. Okay, interesting thoughts. Bree,
I didn't really pick up anything
nothing.
this time.
That's okay. Don't necessarily have to get anything every time, so that's all good. Alright, for another time I want you to place your hands on the box. This time I want you to invite the spirit forward, and I want you to ask the spirit if they can give you a name or anything else that they can give you relating to the box. Alright, so once again place your hand on the box. And I also want to ask you to ask the spirit what is written on the box. Are there any words? Are there any numbers? When you're ready, just sit back and just write any names, any words, any numbers that you might feel are associated with the box or on the box.
Tap into my aura. Can you do that? Can you tap into my aura? It's like using a battery. There you go. Use me as a battery. Use me as a battery.
There is no reason why that K2 should go off. There is nothing electrical in the box.
Put your hand on my hand and use me as a battery. You got it? I know you're tired. Put your hand here.
So we're going to go around the room again. We'll start with Junie this time. What did you get?
Well, I know it's not on the box, but
That's better.
the name Bill Bailey come to mind.
Bill Bailey.
So, and I know it's not on the box.
That's the name of a song too, isn't it?
Yes, once you come home, Bill Bailey, once you come home.
Okay, and that's related to the song. Is
Yeah.
related to.
Oh, I know you've done me wrong. That's the, once you
Yeah.
come home, Bill Bailey, I know you've done me wrong.
Thinking about the era of the song.
Isn't it about
What-
soldiers and stuff?
There we go. Now you've got it.
Isn't that song about soldiers and stuff? Being away and coming home and...
I keep seeing, I reckon it was a movie, and I keep seeing Al Jolson with his black face.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
I think he used to sing it. I just,
Did he?
got a picture of Al Jolson with a black face singing it,
I did on
Okay.
but I'm not sure. But
So Al Jolson was 1940s?
30s, 40s was he?
30s,
yeah.
40s,
I'm
yeah,
not-
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I can't, quite remember it. The sensor's gone off again, but the cat's walked past it.
Okay. So I got John.
Yep.
But I also got Harold Harry.
Harold, Harry, John, okay.
I got that didn't hold clothes.
Okay,
Oh, see, I got clothing before.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I got
Yep.
yeah. I got it was brown, and I don't know it was like a worn brown paint or varnished, very old brown.
okay,
I got the writing is faded and worn, like it's not all visible.
alright, yep,
And that's it.
very good. Okay, Hannah.
I got the word Welsh.
Oh, and I did get numbers on it.
No.
Numbers, oh yeah, go for it. What numbers did you get?
Well, I don't know. It's funny. I got 1, 2, 3, but then I got 18 something.
Something, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, I just got those numbers.
okay, alright, okay,
I was getting a whole jumble of different names, so
Yep.
it was like many names.
okay, what names were you getting?
It was too much of a mishmash for me to really define
Okay,
what it was. Then I got Welsh,
mhm,
and then I got 6358, and then I also got stamped.
stamps,
Yeah,
stamps,
Yeah.
postage stamps,
postage stamps.
okay, postage stamps,
Yeah.
okay,
Or
Yeah.
like stamps when you're travelling and
Or even like big rubber,
oh, okay, yep,
That's when
those
you-
as well. Like I've got both.
yep, like the rubber
Yeah.
stamps, so you're stamping
Yeah,
well, I think they
documents
used
with
to
and whatever.
on travelling boxes and cases. They'd have these big stamps.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, okay, cool, very good.
So I got the name Dan or Danny or Daniel. None of them really felt like it was the right one, but that Dan was sort of what I was getting. I also got the letter H in regards to the box.
Yep.
And numbers on it, but in sort of like a rainbow sort of pattern on the box.
Okay, alright, cool,
As I said before, I got the name Bill, and then I saw sort of like shipped from blah 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 or property of blah blah blah. I couldn't make out which one it is, but shipped from somewhere was the first thing that came to mind. And the headaches keep hanging around. I
Okay.
almost feel like the top half of his head isn't just in pain; it's missing. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like, was it an accident? Was it a suicide? Is he feeling ashamed? Is he feeling guilt? And then I get that he forgets what happened to him because it comes and goes in bits and pieces because of the injury. But then I heard birdsong and I found him really easily distracted and comforted by birdsong. Just as something random. And I also picked up he felt like he lived a soldier's life and all the trauma that comes with it, even if he wasn't literally a soldier.
there's a mental health thing.
And then
involved.
I saw a pickaxe for some reason as well, but I didn't get any letters or numbers or anything like that.
okay, cool. Alright, now I want you just to close your eyes for a moment, and I'm just going to push our little friend in spirit once more, just very quickly.
He is getting really
I know,
tired.
I know he's getting very tired. We'll just one last little push before we stop for the moment with him. Just going to push him to see your minds or one of your minds with what happened to him. What are your first thoughts? And what's your first intuitions that you get? Do you get any visions? Just quickly focus on that and then write down what you get. I want to thank the Spirit for coming forward. You're quite welcome to have a bit of a rest now while we have a little bit of a break too. and then we'll move forward once again for a short while to try and uncover a little bit more of the story behind this box. So very quickly, what do we all got? Who was it? Hannah?
I just
started.
had a gunshot to the head.
Gunshot to the head.
But suicide. So he was very post-traumatic stress,
Okay.
very mental health split sort of thing, and he shot himself.
So you got somebody who had a lot of stress.
It was to the point that they were ready to just do anything to
And-
stop the head
Yep.
from doing
They were at that
what
point.
it was doing. So they've just gone, nah, that's it, fuck it.
Okay. So they've either had that thought or actually done
Yeah, one
Yep.
of the two.
it. One of the two. Okay.
And I would say that they've done that
Okay.
to
Yeah.
push me because I know that feeling.
Okay. Jenny.
I actually got explosion, possibly a mine. Like he possibly could have been a soldier.
Okay.
He didn't have direct contact with the mine,
Mm.
but it was the results of the mine.
Okay.
You know, the ones just stand on.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. Cool. So.
I didn't get a whole lot. Maybe because his energy is starting to,
Yeah, it's
Run
starting
out,
to
but-
wane a bit. Yeah.
and he's done really well.
Yeah, he has.
But just what I was getting earlier with the head injury and an explosion of some sort, and that's all I can sort of
Okay,
piece together.
Sure.
So I wrote down earlier when we did it the first time about the sore neck and under the chin. I was wondering whether it was a gunshot,
Yeah.
like a suicide under the chin, or if it was being strangled and the pressure of someone's thumb sort of sitting
Yeah.
Okay.
right there was.
It's like a
Yep.
pop.
Yeah,
Like there's a
it was. I was getting
Yeah.
either that gunshot being really strangled by someone, or even like a noose.
Yep.
Where he's
there's a
possibly
very
hung
sudden
himself.
like
Yeah, and that pressure to the neck.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
And
Excellent.
it's like he's really confused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look,
That was the first thing I got was confusion.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And why was he here? He doesn't know
Yeah.
why he's here.
He's sort of like, I'm here. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm
He's-
doing
I'm
something.
alright
What
with
am I
helping,
doing?
but yeah.
Yeah.
the whole thing is, that it'll be confusing for him trying to communicate with us because nobody has communicated with him before. It's been a long time that he's been on the lower astral. He hasn't crossed over.
Okay.
I actually got the confusion was because he's on the other side. He's not living. He's
Oh,
dead.
so he's still like the
no, he
experience
he
is
is.
still
Yes.
adjusting.
he has passed.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
Um,
passed, but it's like why?
And
You
then
know,
actually,
why
well,
here?
it's a good question actually. Has he actually
Acknowledged it.
crossed over, or
That's sort of
is he
confusion
still on
all
the
around.
lower astral?
Yeah.
The other night when I was here and Beth and I
Oh,
talked,
yes.
Yep.
He needs a.
I got the
I
whole
was gonna say, or a
Is it
candle
kettle on
going
down?
or something.
I got the whole
Just that boost of exchange.
title pole thing and
I'm
I'm sorry,
executed.
it's got a bear on it, but you know.
But tonight I got the
Metal cup is good.
the bit around the neck. There was something
Always do.
holding him up that was like, this was all torn. It was like, you know when they hang someone with a noose and it's
Yeah.
tight here, but it wasn't a noose, it was something else. It was all torn here, so
It was barbed wire.
yeah, something like that.
Okay. Now, I'm just aware of the time, and it's coming up to nearly the time of the eclipse. We want to get out and see it, so we're going to do a big reveal of what the box is. But first off, I just want you to go through what you've written. Just have a quiet look at what you've written, just so you can remember what you've written.
It's not something from Target.
So
is
we
it?
can
Like-
see.
No,
So we can see
no,
it
it's not a
from-
target box.
It's like a
It's like one of those
Plastic.
flat pack
Well-
chairs or something.
It,
And the next
Yeah.
one, and the winner gets to
It
put it
could-
together.
it could have something to do with being a target. Who knows?
That's really
So
what we
just remembering what you've written, going to do a little reveal of the box.
Do you want me to do it now?
So hold on for 1 sec. I'll just position myself so we can get the camera to get a good look at it as well.
Therefore, you don't get that tripod in your face.
All right, just remembering what you've written, we're going to reveal a box, and we'll explain a little bit about the box, of what we know anyway. All right, so
You ready?
go for it. It is a World War II footlocker, and it belongs to a R.A.J. Smedley. Now we don't know what the R.A.J. stands for. We don't know their initials of obviously his first, middle and middle names. There are a group of numbers on it. NX164396, which we believe is a dog tag number. And the box itself was commissioned by, we think, or the person that had joined the 1st Australian Armed Car Squadron, and it was destined to go to Hiroshima in Japan in 1946 after the war to help with the cleanup, I suppose you call it.
Is it after the atomic bomb?
Yeah.
This is after the atomic bomb. So this box was destined to go to Hiroshima in 1946. So the guy, R.A.J. Smedley, from what we know, we've got some scattered information. We've got a couple of different trains of thoughts of information which we don't know what is true and what is not. So we might get Bethany to go through some of the information that she knows about the box.
This box has been in my possession since I was 14, 13-ish. Started high school. It belonged to my dad's cousin, so my aunt's son on my dad's side of the family, my aunt Linda. Her son, who is obviously R.A.J. Smedley, but the family knows him, and I've grown up knowing him as Uncle Sonny. My dad tells the story of Uncle Sonny not coming back from the war and being a POW and being decapitated by the Japanese on the Burma Railway.
I had a feeling he was a soldier.
I don't know how accurate that is. As with most people's families, there is a lot of family stories that have half-truths, sort of truths, and a little bit of truth. I don't know how true that is, but I have had this box has literally been everywhere with me.
So do you know what the RAJ stands for?
No. Their Aunt Linda was my dad's mother's sister. My grandmother, her name was Hilda, and her surname was Lawson. Linda's surname was Lawson. Smedley was a married name. I have little information about my dad's side of the family at all. This box has literally been in our family ever since I can remember. When I was a kid, it used to be stored in our cubby house, so one of those old tin shed cubbies of the 80s, and it was painted black, but as you can see there's actually the army green underneath it, and the writing was covered. It just looked like a big black box. And as a kid, and not realising what I could do then, that I can do now, Sonny, what I knew now is I used to tell people there was a ghost that lived in the trunk. This is when I was, I don't know, 6 or 7. And all the friends I grew up with, and I'm still friends with, would vouch for that. And I would tell them there's a ghost that lives in the trunk, and that ghost is there to protect me.
Okay, 2 meters lighting
Yeah.
up.
Hi, Sunny. When my parents divorced, this fell into the possession of my mum. I don't know how that happened, but there was a lot of to-ing and fro-ing before my parents finally divorced. When my mum did divorce and we moved into a house on our own, it came with us and it sat in the back room of our house. It was a big rumpus room with a tiled floor. One day I was looking at it and I realised, and I was, probably early high school, late primary school, early high school, and I realised there was words on it. So I took something sharp and I actually chipped, and he's agreeing with me, I've actually chipped all the paint off the lettering. And when I realised what the trunk was, I asked my mum, and she said it was an old World War II trunk. And I said, can I have it? Because at the time it wasn't being used for anything. And she said, yeah, why not? Because it would get all my, teenage crap off the floor in my bedroom. And it has followed me everywhere ever since. Every house I've moved into, every place I've gone, when I went to uni, it was in my bedroom. When I moved in with my boyfriend at the time, it came with me. When we moved to Sydney, it was with me. I've had such a strong connection to this trunk throughout my life that when it wasn't here, I would get very, very, very anxious when people mentioned it. Because in my head, it was meant to be with me. It's the only link I have to my dad. I don't own anything else of my grandparents or my aunts. This is it. I don't have photographs. I didn't meet my Nana or my Aunt Linda because Aunt Linda died shortly before I was born and Nana died not long after, the same year I was born. So I had no connection to them at all. And to top it all off, up until a few years ago, I didn't have contact with my dad. Regular contact with my dad on a regular basis. So a lot of what you were saying, and while you were all talking, I was actually talking to Sonny, trying to help him figure out how to do what we were asking him to do. Because this is the first time I've been able to talk to him. Because it's the first time I've understood my gift. So I've always seen a soldier, particularly when I was unwell. I used to see the soldier, and I never knew what that meant. But when my mum recently came to visit, I finally got my trunk back, and it was a long, arduous tale because I haven't had this in my possession for nearly 4 years. 5 years. And every time anyone mentioned it, I would get exceptionally upset. Part of the reason is the link I have to the trunk and the energy and the spirit that is attached to it, but part of it is the contents.
Can I also ask, do you now feel like Sonny's an old friend?
He is an old friend, yeah. Yeah. He's been around me a long time. And when my mum brought this in, when Rick finally got it into the house, I just sat here and put my hand on it because I finally felt like I was home.
Bethany's always mentioned feeling the soldier around her, but she wasn't really able to connect to the soldier.
No.
Didn't really know who the soldier was or what the soldier was about. The interesting thing with the whole storyline is there is one storyline where he actually died by decapitation or execution by the Japanese. I don't know if it was execution.
Yeah.
We'll call it, because we're not sure if it was decapitation or not. There's 2 different stories there.
Yeah.
On the Burma Rail, while building the Burma Rail. But the curious thing that really got us going, and this is part of the mystery too, is that this box is marked stating virtually that
It was heading
this
to
R.J. Smedley, R.A.J. Smedley, he had joined at some point the 1st Australian Armoured Car Squadron, which was destined for Hiroshima, Japan. It's written on the box. Now the thing is, the Armoured Car Squadron itself, I think, was created around about 1941 or earlier, probably even 39, and the sensor light's just gone off up the back there, and there's been no cats walking past.
It's because he's coming for his.
So Sonny, if you want to come in as well, please do so. The thing is that the car squadron, at some point he joined the car squadron and was destined for Hiroshima, Japan. But the whole thing was that this car squadron was destined for Hiroshima, Japan after the war had finished. Now, if he was executed on the Burma Rail during the war as a POW, well, that doesn't really click, does it?
No, he wouldn't.
You know,
go
he
to
can't have
Hiroshima.
been executed
I don't reckon
during
he
the
even
war
went.
years and gone across to Hiroshima, Japan after the war had finished. So that's the massive big mystery that we're trying to solve.
And since my trunk has a, and I do refer to it as mine because,
Well,
yeah, you know, because it's not mine and it's mine, but it's his and it's mine. Since it's arrived, I've been able to communicate a few times with Rods, and he's given me a few different details that don't match what I was told as a child. But also, and I get quite emotional about this because it does feel home. It does feel, I don't have a lot of family on the other side that feel like family. But this trunk feels like home. And not having it with me, I honestly felt like part of me was missing. I honestly felt like something was wrong. And like I said, the contents of this that's in this trunk also is very important to me because this trunk is a time capsule. This trunk has pretty much stuff from every facet of my life up until I moved here, when it didn't come with me.
Have you gone through it?
I have. I've taken some things out because Carla's wanted to see them. I've got birthday cards that have been sitting in this trunk since I was 7 years old. I've got birthday cards and Christmas cards from my grandmother. I've got birthday cards my dad gave me. I've got old school assignments that I was proud of. I've got the letter that I was sent by the university to say that I'd gotten accepted. I've got the piece of paper with my student number on it from my HSC, my Year 12s.
What's your student number?
I can't remember, that's why it's in the box.
No, I'm just wondering because everyone got different numbers.
Yes,
Mm.
it's in there. It's in the box. It's 67 something. I've got in this box stories that I had written because I used to like writing short stories. You would not be able to. They're completely illegible because I'm dyslexic, and I couldn't read until I was 14, 15. I couldn't read fluently until I was 14. I couldn't write fluently until after I left school. So there are books, there are certificates, there are letters that my friends have given me I had one friend who used to write me a letter every time she visited where I was living because her grandmother lived literally 2 houses up from mine. So she would drop a letter in the letterbox before she left. So
it's become quite a time capsule.
It is, yeah. And it is, what is in here is the belongings that my ex-husband didn't destroy. So he destroyed everything else that I had. But in here, he didn't destroy it. So that's why that's another reason why it's important.
Okay.
And Sonny knows that and he protects it.
All right. We've got about 20 minutes before the moon starts
I wish you
going.
knew what the RHA stood for.
There is a theory in my family. There's a lot of Rexes. Rex is a very common name.
Yes,
And-
it was back then.
Yeah, and Rex can be short for Robert. It can be short for. There's also on my dad's side of the family, my dad's father. There's also a lot of Reginalds. So Aunt Linda's father, you know, possibly. There's a lot of Reginalds. There's a lot of Rexes. There's a lot of Walters. There's a lot of a lot of Jameses. My theory is that it's either a Robert, a Rex, or a Reginald.
Okay. So on that, I want everybody just to very, very quickly, what's the first name that pops into your head regarding this RAJ? Nobody knows definitely.
I got Roger Arnold John.
Roger Arnold John. Okay, cool. Anyone else?
Reginald.
Okay. Bree, what do you reckon the first name is?
I'm still getting that Danny, Dan. So
That's your brother. He's popped in.
Danny. Yeah, it
Danny's-
could be. I mean, my brother's
Danny's in the bloody
my
dolly cabinet.
brother's passed away, and he quite often pops in, so you're
He's in
probably
the
getting
dolly
him.
cabinet.
So, what do you reckon, Sal?
Well, my I'm being affected by something else because I lost my great grandfather on the Burma Railway. He was also a prisoner of war, who never came home, and his name was Ross Alexander. So I'm getting
Okay.
because it's RA.
Yep.
But I'm thinking Robert.
Yep.
But I'm sort of getting my own great grandfather coming into.
Yep.
Yeah.
I keep getting a Robert too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite possibly. Who knows?
And
We're very unsure at
The
the moment.
Danny that you said you were getting yesterday, we were saying that A was possibly Andrew, which
Yeah.
could be Danny.
Sure
Yeah,
for Danny. too.
Andy, Danny, yeah.
Good. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right.
And
Now-
Jay's either John or James.
Now, I just want to do a couple of very, very quick things before we go and have a look at this super moon thing. Does anybody want to have a go at a set of rods? And we'll ask a couple of quick questions. Do you want to have a go?
On the Burma Railway as
Have a go?
Yeah, sure.
He's the chaplain.
Do you want to have a go?
I've never used rods before.
Never used rods before? You want to try?
I don't think I have either.
Well, you've had a muck
Do you wanna
around
pass
with
them?
I
mine.
muck around,
Pass
but
them
not
on.
really like.
So what are we doing? Asking questions.
We'll ask the questions.
Oh, yes.
And,
Let's see what you get.
You right?
Low battery.
yeah.
That would be Eric. Eric, stop mucking around. Centre, please. Hold them out like this. Give them a bit of space between them and tuck your thumbs on and move your hands down a little bit.
Can't hold your thumb on the top. You got to tuck your thumb.
I was trying to do that to stop it from swinging.
Hey, Jerry. This is Abby
No, you
watching
want them
TV
to
last night.
you
No,
want
but they were
glasses on?
swinging without me doing anything.
Yeah, that's the whole
Yeah, that's
point
the
of
whole
it.
the
You
only way
don't-
she
you
could
don't-
watch.
you don't
Oh,
try
I
that.
have
No, I
to.
mean till the questions are asked.
Just put them on herself.
No, that's it'll be fine if you do that.
Centre. Come on, Spirit. Centre. 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 Thank you.
Just because I'm a beginner.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. There you go.
All
Centre.
right.
Stop mucking it. Eric.
Can you cross the rods for yes? I'll ask Spirit to cross the rods for a yes.
There you go.
Okay. And we'll ask the Spirit to open up the rods for a no.
Push him out for a no. Keep going,
Why isn't the other one moving?
because you're tense. There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Hannah's still got hers crossed.
Just relax. Relax. Don't look at the end of the rods. Look straight ahead. Don't pay attention to the rod. There you go.
Okay. So we're going to just ask for the spirit that is connected to this box to come forward. And can you push the rods into a yes position when we mention your correct first name? So we're going to go through a list of our names, and as soon as we get to your name, can you please cross the rods? I'm going to start off with the name Rick. I'm going to call out the name Reginald. I'll call out the name Rex. A little bit of movement on Jenny's there, and we've got a cross.
Relax. Don't.
You're on that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a,
Focus on the end of the rod.
so we've got a possible
Shut your
Rex.
eyes.
Okay, just relax your arms and straighten out the rods again.
There you go.
I'm going to call out some more names. Can you cross the rods if we hit your name? What about a Robert? Is your name Robert? Is your name Roger? Who's got another R name?
Rex, you haven't tried?
You ever tried
No,
Rex?
Oh,
Richard.
Ryan.
Richard?
Mine are moving.
Richard. What about Orion?
Center.
Rupert.
Okay, that just went. Okay, I'm gonna.
Riley.
Ooh, that was a sharp jab.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I just felt it really shake.
Yeah.
Okay, can we try Rex again? Is your name Rex?
Let's try. Tip the tips
He's
up.
going one at a
There
time.
you go.
Yeah.
Now ask. Is your name Rex? There you go.
Okay, we've got a possible Rex. What does the A stand for? Does it stand for Andrew?
This is your strongest side, but
Yeah.
you need to
Oh,
loosen up
mine
this
just
side.
crossed.
Yeah.
Is that
Did
because of you moving? Oh,
No, that's not my aura. I'm not doing that.
Okay,
So ask
center the
again.
rods once again.
Center.
Just center.
Make sure your tips are up so that way.
Does the A stand for Anthony? Oh, one cross from Jenny. Is it Andrew?
He's getting confused, Dar.
Okay,
He's getting
Gotcha.
confused. It's not. You're asking one thing and then you're asking something else, and you're moving backwards and forwards.
yeah, okay.
He's not used to it. He's getting confused.
We might just,
You need to ask one of the house spirit to help him, because they're stronger and they know how the rods work.
okay. One of the house spirit.
Ask Eric. He's sitting behind.
Okay,
Yeah,
Eric,
Eric's wanting
Eric,
to play anyway.
Eric, can you come forward and help with this one?
Okay.
Okay, we've got
I got
the
a yes.
K2 going off as well.
There's Eric. Hey, buddy.
Can you help with this one,
Ooh,
Eric?
Wow.
Yeah, he's a lot stronger.
Wow.
Okay,
I can feel that this time.
we're going to go back to your first name again, the spirit's first name that's connected to the box. Eric and the spirit, can you connect together and help us with your first name? Is your first name Robert? Can you cross the rods if it is? Got a strong cross on the back.
That's yes. Eric, you need to help him. He doesn't understand.
Is your first name Rex? I've got a no at the back.
That's Eric.
So that'd be Eric.
Yeah, he tries to hit you in the head.
Right.
Eric,
Have we
behave
got?
yourself. Do you want to ask Klaus?
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh.
say,
Eric's a trick.
I think we're getting too many spirit involved in this one because there's a lot of house spirit, and I think they're sort of
Klaus?
just pushing the rods around.
Klaus, can you step forward? Eric, you step back.
he's here.
Yeah, I want to know he's here.
No, as in like,
I know he's here. Can you help Sonny use the rods? Because he's getting tired and he doesn't understand how they work. Can you answer
yeah,
for him?
we've got 2 yeses.
Can you answer for him,
He's all
Klaus?
like, yep.
Okay, we've got a little bit of confusion
Yeah.
here. Okay, we're just wanting to know the first name of Mr. Smedley here. Is it a Rex? Cross the rods if it is. Yeah. Okay, definitely. Okay, relax the rods again. Just open up the rods, relax. Is it a Robert?
I think Rex is short for Robert.
Well, I don't know. Don't think so.
I don't reckon.
No.
I think they're picking
think
up
we're-
on your guide,
Rex-
Robert.
And Richard be the same name?
I'm not worried.
Not too not too sure.
No, so Robert's standing
All right.
right there, his book in the door.
Yeah,
So
but
we
they're
get a
all like
little
what
bit
is
of
he
confusion
like?
with the rods here, so we'll just that's the
I've
way
just got a feeling it's short for Richard. But
that's
I'm
what
not positive.
happens
Well,
when
ask
we
him.
get
Ask him.
Is your name Richard?
Yes. Ask him if it's. You ask him, Jenny. Ask him if he's got a shortened version
Is your shortened version of Robert Rex?
of Richard.
Of Richard, is your shortened version of Richard Rex?
okay.
There you go.
Now we've got
There
two
we go.
crosses there.
Yeah. So he's
So
a
that's
Richard.
quite possible. Alright,
Yeah,
we
I
might
had
have
Oh,
that
wow,
one.
that was a sharp.
I had an
Yeah.
uncle Rex, and I just had a feeling his name was Richard. It just come to me then.
Okay.
Is the A on the box short for Alexander?
No. Only one swinging.
Yeah, no.
Just going to close off here for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the necrophonics going. I'd just like to ask, what is your first name? The spirit that's connected to the box, what's your first name?
He doesn't understand how it works.
Rex.
Rex. He's trying.
If you put your energy towards what I'm holding in my hand, you could possibly tell us.
Sonny, did you pass away in Burma?
Or did you pass away in Japan?
Did you go to Japan at all? Were you part of the Australian Armoured Car Squadron? The story that you were executed in Japan, is that true?
Winifred. It's on Dad's side of the family.
Okay. Were you executed on the Burma rail? or did you survive and go to Hiroshima?
Someone else has just walked in.
Is there anything that you would like to say?
Aunt Linda, have you just walked in? I think his mother's here. This has gone permanently grey.
Okay.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who my dad is?
We're very pleased you to be here, and we invite you to stay so we can communicate some more over time. Thank you for communicating with us tonight.
So was all that spirit, the whole thing?
Majority of it was, yeah. Yes, they just agreed with you.
So did I hear one of them say Beth? I think
Yeah,
Beth.
they yelled my name out all the time.
Yeah.
We usually
Normally
get a
we
lot of
have
Beth
this-
and dog.
Normally
And
we have a speaker that we put it so we can all hear it properly, but we just wanted to do that quickly before we go out right now to have a look at the full moon.
There's a gap coming.
Well, it's cloudy, so we're not really seeing too much. We're seeing a slight sliver,
I think that's all we're going to see, really.
and I think that's all we're going to see
And that
tonight.
slither doesn't even look red.
There's a few gaps in the clouds. Certainly can't see anything on the phone.
That was a disappointment.
Okay, we're back inside.
Are you going to be right if I like this? I'll put it down the other end of the room. It's incense. If I put it down the other end of the room, you're going to be right?
Yeah.
You've got water. You're all good.
Yes.
I didn't
I
want to do
actually
it.
got a drink.
I didn't want to do it in case
And
it
I'll do my
triggered
eyes.
something. Yeah. That's all.
Okay, just like to thank everybody for coming tonight and having a good go with this. And actually it's quite amazing because some of what you actually wrote down and picked up before we uncovered the box does relate to the storyline of what we have heard about Mr. R.A.J. Smedley and the box. So it's pretty interesting.
Now, our guides are supposed to be telling us what.
Yeah.
Why do we all get something different and sometimes wrong?
Because it's not wrong. You just get, everyone picks up on it. Imagine everyone's got, have you seen My Favourite Martian with the two aerials
Yes.
that come out? Imagine everyone's got different aerials and they're all on different frequencies. So if you're tuned to one frequency and Hannah's tuned to another frequency and Bree's tuned to something else and Jerry's
No,
aerial
but I
picks-
mean like different, the wrong name. Or,
yeah, it's not the wrong name. It all links in together.
You
But
could be
it's
hearing
just-
the name of the person who was the great uncle of this
What was
person.
the name? What was the name you got?
John.
John. Well, there's
Well,
a
that could
J.
be
There's a
the
J.
There's a J.
Oh, and I've got a Harold and Harry.
Yeah, well, see, I don't know a lot about my dad's side of the family, and I don't know a lot about Aunt Linda's husband.
Yep.
So it could be there's a Harry on that side of the family.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were best mates in Burma, and now they travel together in Burma, and
Yeah.
now they travel together
Yeah.
in the afterlife.
My grandmother's name, Nana's name was Hilda Harold. So it depends. It's
Yep.
not wrong. You don't get the wrong thing. Everything is linked. It's just that you get a different a different piece of the same story.
So that Bill Bailey, which was a war song.
Yeah,
from.
Yeah, because it was World
It
War II.
relates
And it
to
was
the
saying,
war.
come home, Bill Bailey,
War
come
II.
home.
It's a matter of also your guides know how to give you particular signals.
Yeah.
So like the song would come to your mind, whereas somebody else would be hearing war things of a different type.
Or you might, because some people see and some people hear. So you have a thing where you hear music. So the logical way your guides would give you information is through song. I see. So if my guides give me something really important, chances are I'll see it. Because I'm very art orientated and I used to love theatre, sometimes I get the line out of a movie, or I get the name of a book, because I like literature. I studied English lit at uni, so I might get the name of a book or a line out of a book or the line of a poem. So
Or a song.
or a song.
I've had too many, thank you.
So
I had 2 pieces of cake, I better not.
so it's not necessarily that you're wrong. It's just your guides have to give you information so you understand that that's what they're giving them. If your guides gave you a vision, you wouldn't have a freaking clue what to do with it. But if they they gave you the song, we go, oh, well, I understand that now.
Yeah.
So it's like Hannah hears more than she sees.
Yeah.
So she will hear stuff. So her ears are more tuned than her eyes are. Her third eye is. You're kind of tuned like you're tuned into musical theatre. So
You're a vibration.
And
more
yet
of a-
I don't listen to songs
No.
or music or anything.
No.
I listen to talkback radio.
Yeah, but that's because you've got the songs in your head. If you want, and Bree's sitting in the corner, and she tends to get keywords. So she tends to not get a lot, but the words that she gets is important.
Yeah.
So she doesn't.
I got the letter H.
Yeah. See. So the thing was, she gets keywords. So and the keywords that she gets leads to something else.
And what you've written down there, if you actually look through it,
you'll find that you've got a
you'll
lot of
find
things
that there's
right.
some stuff that symbolically relates to something within the story of this box that we already know.
Yeah.
I didn't say it, I had possible soldier.
There you go.
See?
I had explosion mine, possible soldier.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of explosions around you.
Yeah. And someone
Had to build a railway.
someone said they heard screeching tires
I did,
and screaming and a sudden stop.
It's a car squadron.
He was in the car, the armored
yeah,
car
I heard
squadron.
like cars and
Yeah,
yeah.
and then people screaming and explosions and stuff.
And you said water. The
Yeah.
motion of the water. Well, it would
Yep.
have had to have come by boat.
Yeah,
Might
See-
have even been the car if it was.
yeah. But he
Rocky
could have.
and
It
swaying.
could have
It
come.
wasn't necessarily a boat. It
it
was
Yeah.
could
just
have
that
been, would have
rocky.
been probably both anyway.
Yeah. But see, I don't know how this got back from wherever it was.
Or
Part
if
of-
it even went.
Yeah,
part
if
of
it
the
even went.
story. Part
Well, I
of
was
the
going to say
story.
his belongings could have come back in a.
Well,
To
see,
his
the actual
Family, yeah.
the actual trunk. Excuse me, Sonny.
Like if he did die
That
in
was me.
Japan or somewhere, maybe they sent his belongings home in the trunk.
Well, see, the actual trunk.
And what is the trunk made out of? For
It's
starters?
tin,
It's tin. Okay.
but the actual trunk. And I'll open it for you. It's all lined.
And I don't get clothes in it.
Yeah. Well, it's never it's never held closed.
Yeah.
It's always held but it's got the green lining, the silk lining on the inside, so you can put your hand on the inside and you can feel what's actually. You can actually get a
The
picture of what was in
other
it.
thing I want to mention too is
Yeah,
that
I didn't hold clothes.
You wanted to know my student number? That was my student number.
Just peek it out of the top.
Yeah.
the other thing I want to mention too is that this car squadron was originally set up in Puckapunyal in Victoria, but the car squadron actually went to an island in Indonesia
Please take that.
before they actually went across to Japan. So the rocking of the boats and everything like that, they would have had to have gone by ship to Japan. And when I did a little bit of research into this particular island, there is only a couple of small towns on the island, but one of them was stated it was an army camp there, and there's an army camp museum.
Yeah.
So we're thinking that it very muchly relates to part of the storyline where this trunk may have gone across to this island in Indonesia before it actually went across.
That would make
To Japan.
absolute sense.
Yeah.
With
And that's
the
where you're
way
getting
that
the rocking of the waves and the
Yeah.
water and the boats.
The irony of it all is that on my mum's side of the family, we do have a relative that was in the RAF who was shot down over the English Channel a couple of weeks before the war ended. And he didn't come home, and my grandmother used to wear his army issued watch that went to the bottom of the ocean with him and came back, and it was working when they found his body. So we have that side of things as well. So we've got all of the. Oh, he was a navigator of a Lancaster bomber. So we have that, and we have all the information for that, and then we have not a whole lot for Sonny.
I've looked through some war records,
There he
and
is.
from what I could find, pop it back up there.
Yeah, sorry, son.
From what I could find, there are quite a few arse medleys, and there was one that was stated as being executed by the Japanese, and it did have this dog tag number, but it also had a second dog tag number. Now, the thing is that we know in the war years that sometimes dog tags were swapped or passed on to somebody else for one reason or another. So perhaps the second dog tag may have belonged to a friend of his that actually died, and he took Mr. Smedley took
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dog tag, or they swapped the dog tags to swap identities, or for some reason because they were running and hiding from the Japanese.
Yeah. The thing with this trunk is, and you see me, I've done it all night. I've sat here and put my hand on it because to me this is home. And when my mum actually brought it in, the first thing I did was do this because it does feel very much like greeting an old friend.
Yeah.
And I do get emotional about it because I don't have that connection to my dad's side of the family, and I've only just reconnected with my dad, and I've asked him about the trunk, but my dad's he's nearly 80.
When it come home, did you decide that yous will never be separated again?
Oh, it's not going anywhere.
it wasn't intentional.
It wasn't.
No,
yeah.
I just got.
It
that
wasn't
As
a-
soon as it come into your house, you thought
I'm
we're
not.
never
Yeah.
going to be separated
We'll see.
again.
Yeah, no, because I never wanted to be separated from it in the first
No.
place. But because when the circumstances of me leaving New South Wales were a little bit trying, Rick will tell you, every time I tried to get this and I failed, I was completely beside myself. I was absolutely beside myself. And, you know, getting to know my dad as an adult, because, you know, my parents divorced when I was 10. And my dad still lived in the same town, but I didn't have a lot to do with him for, you know, family reasons and personal reasons and his reasons and other people's reasons.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. I call my dad every 2 weeks.
Can't you ask him
What?
the name?
My dad, he doesn't
really
remember.
know. He just
No.
remembers
He's
the
Uncle Sonny.
guy as Sonny.
Oh,
He's
right,
Uncle
yeah.
Sonny. He doesn't. That's the family only knew him as Sonny, and I don't know how he got that name. I'm assuming it was because he was a happy-go-lucky sort of
would've
guy.
said-
Well, I
and he
keep
was a ray
seeing
of-
blonde hair.
Yeah, and
so
he was a ray of sunshine. My dad's side of the family are all dark-skinned and dark eyes, dark skin, dark hair. So Carla is very much my dad's side of the family, the way she looks. My younger brother has dark eyes, dark hair. His youngest son has the dark eyes and the dark hair. So that's dad's side of the family. I've traced dad's side to a certain point, and my brother has actually done one of those DNA tests. But the problem is I couldn't keep my subscription up to that particular website. So I'm going to have to resubscribe and get back into it.
Do you know the library has a free ancestry thing?
Yeah, the irony is this he did his training at Puckapunyal,
my uncle, we used to come and visit my uncle in Melbourne when I was a kid because my dad's brother used to live in Melbourne. And up until I met Rick and I came to Ballarat, I thought I'd never been to Ballarat. The truth was I was here when I was very young on one of those trips. So this has probably gone from Victoria to wherever he went and then came back to New South Wales and then has literally travelled around with me and now it's come back to Victoria.
And the question still remains, did this guy actually die somewhere else other than Japan?
My question is, did he die?
Did this trunk actually get to Japan?
Did he
Was it
actually get
just
to the? Did he actually leave the
requisition
country?
to Japan, but it
I
never
reckon
actually
he
got there?
I have a feeling that he tells me he did, and he's shown me he has, but I don't think he. I think this was a new thing. I think he'd been over before, and he came back, and then he went again.
And was there an accident on the way back from Japan, and that's why he never actually, a plane crash or whatever,
Yeah.
and he never actually got back to Australia?
Like I
But
have
if
no.
that was the case, I'd have been very lucky finding that trunk.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know how this got back.
Well,
If
the
he
Australian Army were usually pretty good at, if somebody, well, yeah, I'm
That's
true
if
if there was
that's
an
if
accident
flowed
like
back.
that.
Depends
Yeah.
if it's sailing
But
back.
see, the thing
Yeah,
is too, if
yeah.
he was a POW, he wouldn't have had the trunk.
No.
They would have sent one of the, as my grandmother used to say, the yellow telegrams.
But the trunk would have been, if he worked on the Burma Railway and didn't die, the trunk would have been somewhere.
Yeah. So they would have got it. My grandmother used to tell me about the yellow telegrams.
And that's a mystery how it got back.
Yeah. The yellow telegrams are the telegrams
Yes.
you used to get when
Someone
someone
died or
was missing in action. And my grandmother used to tell me that the postman would either deliver the yellow telegram or that someone, either the local priest or the local police officer or something, would hand the family the telegram. If that's the case, and he was deemed missing in action, and this found its way back eventually,
Where's the
from
telegram?
where's the telegram?
Yeah.
Because they would have got a dreaded yellow telegram. All I remember is that my dad had a chocolate box. It was one of those tin chocolate boxes, and it had photographs in it. And there was a photo of Uncle Sonny, and I very proudly took that to school in primary school and held it up at Anzac Day and saying, this is my Uncle Sonny and this is what happened to him. And it was in one of those plastic grocery bags you put the fruit in, because, hey, that would protect it. And, you give it to a 9-year-old. And I can remember doing that, and it was a photograph of him in his uniform with his slouch hat, and the rising sun badge on his hat and everything. And that was Uncle Sonny, and he was a very young, clean-shaven gentleman, who is the gentleman that I see standing in the doorway right now. So that's him. But I see him as I saw him in the photograph. So he's in black and white. He's not in colour. He doesn't look green. They're not green. He's in black and white. So he's in black and white shades of grey. Because that's how, 9-year-old Bethany saw it. So he's here, and he's been here since the trunk arrived. And he's been wandering around the house and darting in and out and sitting up with me while I've been in pain for the last 3 days and watching Rick on the computer and, putting his head round the door of Carla's room and talking to the cats and chatting to the budgie and going out with Rick to have a cigarette and coming out with me when I need a constitutional smoke on the back step. And so he's been doing all that because this is home. And it's not necessarily home is where, every home to him is where I am. And so he'll be...
Basically, he had home in a box.
Yeah, home was the box. And he has perused what's in that box, and he has filled his head with everything about me and my life. From when I was a little kid, telling people that there was a ghost in the trunk, and he lived there because that's how I saw it, to right up until my daughter was born, and the last thing I put in the trunk. So when
when I didn't take the trunk with me, and it hasn't always been in the house. It's been in garages, it's been in sheds, it's been,
It's in pretty good condition there,
Yeah.
really.
yeah, because I made sure that nothing happened to it, and it's been in spare room, it's been in storage.
Would you say this is the first item that you had around with a spirit attached?
Yeah, but I didn't realise that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah. But see, my grandmother had a whole lot of antique furniture in her house too, and there's probably, God help the people who got that now, because my grandmother's bedroom suite has a spirit attached, but it's not a nice one. So this was the ghost. This was that. It wasn't the first spirit I spoke to. The first spirit I spoke to was rather scary looking and used to hang by a rope in my wardrobe. Don't know what he was. He had big glowing blue eyes and pointy teeth, and he used to kick my brother out of bed when he annoyed me. But this is probably the closest thing to I've got to a past loved one, because I don't have that many past loved ones that have passed over that connect, because they don't believe it. My mum's side of the family, they don't believe it. He's lost, and he found family, and his home is the box, and his family is me.
So just last thoughts on everything that's happened tonight and what you've picked up on and what's been said. Has anybody got any last thoughts?
Do you need to?
I just feel the original story isn't the story.
No.
There's something missing, majorly.
Yeah.
Whether it's just been
But I don't
embellished
think
or
I don't think he remembers exactly what happened either.
I don't think he wants to remember.
Yeah. I think that's it.
But I think it's like Chinese whispers that
Yeah.
every time it's being told, it's being changed that little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that what actually happened isn't what we were told.
I have to turn my phone on just so you know.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
That was just
yeah.
for the K2. But I think what was told was a degree of the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't think he remembers what the actual truth is, because he hasn't crossed over. He hasn't found the light. This has been his world. And wherever this was, that's where he was.
That's what I picked up with the confusion.
Yeah, he doesn't really, and like when you were all saying that someone said that he was missing the top of his head,
Yeah.
I've heard him say that's because they blew it off.
Yeah. But
So,
I also think you and I are picking up on Bethany.
you better not keep your
I
other
know, I
halfway
was
then,
about to.
because he's about
I was
to,
checking the time to
Yeah.
make sure that it wasn't.
That's all
he
right.
was about to
What do you reckon, Bray?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a mystery.
Still a mystery.
Yeah.
Still a mystery. Zoe?
That was the first word I ever got from the things, mystery.
Yeah, it
The
is.
Yeah.
first word.
Because I don't think he knows what happened. I don't think he remembers. And the irony of it all is the epilepsy and that I have, and the problem I'm having at the moment with my nervous system. They don't know where that came. The mystery is they don't know where that came from either. They
Do you
can't.
think
pick
he's
it.
got to that stage where he just feels he doesn't need to know?
I think he's got to the stage where he just doesn't want to.
Doesn't want to know.
He doesn't want to remember
I
it.
don't think I'd want to know
He has
either.
no need to either.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's happy
And
wherever
he's
I
not
am.
interested.
I think it was fairly traumatic.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's happy
It's not
wherever
something
I
he
am.
wants to relive.
And his headspace is, as long as, because when I was out in the kitchen he was calling me Kit, as long as Kit's happy, then that's all that matters. I don't know where Kit's probably short for kitten, because I've had a couple of
Kid is a very common name back
Yeah.
in the war.
yeah, Kit. I've got another soldier that calls me Kitten, and I've got another one that calls me Girlie. They're locals. But he said as long as Kit's happy, then I'm happy. So I think he's just happy that that's where I am.
There you go. Any more last comments?
You right?
I better go too.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
No worries. Well, thanks everybody
It's
for
an interesting night.
being a part of that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
It's obviously still going to be a mystery for quite some time, but
I'm
you
surprised,
never know.
Bethany, that you haven't solved it.
Well, I didn't
we're
realise he
we're
was
working
there.
on it. We're working on it.
You
You
don't
know,
remember?
it
I
may
didn't
take some
realise-
time before we actually solve this mystery.
I didn't realise I had psychic abilities until I met Rick.